أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام على أئمة الهدى. This is a new section. So we have finished the first section, which was the general introduction regarding Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalam, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. And now it really gets very interesting and very in-depth from this point onwards. This section of Assalamu ala Aimmatil Huda is very long. I'm trying my best to condense it and give the main parts, but all of it is very important, so I'll have to try my best. So this will go on for a few sessions. Why? Because in this line, Assalamu ala Aimmatil Huda, we are actually saying salams upon the Imams of Ahlul Bayt based on their most important function, which is Huda. Huda. So today I'm explaining everything from the work of Ayatollah Zia Abadi marhum. And then after we finish his discussion, we'll go on to what Agha Jawadi says. So please bear with me and please give it your full attention. Assalamu ala Aimmatil Huda. Huda. Huda basically means hidayat, guidance. Guidance, as we have said before, is of two types. One is called ira'atut tariq, meaning that some people, they guide, and they guide by showing you the way. They say, look, you want to go somewhere? There's the road, there's the path. I will show you the path. And then you're on your own, you go and walk the path alone. So one is ira'atul tariq, showing the way but not traveling along with the person. And one is isal ilal matlub, that no, I will show you the way and I'll also travel along with you and I'll make sure you reach your destination. I will show you, accompany you, and I can guarantee you that you will reach the destination. If you listen to me, you obey me, you stick on this path, I will get you to your destination. Of course, when we talk about our Imams guiding us, it is of the second one, Isal ilal matlub. Imams are not just there just to show us a direction. They actually show us and then accompany us, and they get us to the destination. So they're with us the whole way through. Aimmah. So when we say Aimmah, Aimmah is plural of Imam. And in previous sessions, we said that when we have an Imam, we have to have an Ummah. An Ummah without an Imam is not an Ummah. An Imam without an Ummah is not an Imam. So Imam and Ummah, these two go together. And where there is an Ummah, a community, a nation, there is a sense of movement and there's a sense of dynamism. An Ummah is a group that is dynamic and it's moving towards a unified goal. The Ummah has a unified path and they are united behind one Imam, one system of leadership. They are united behind one Imam, one system of leadership. Now let's discuss Huda in more depth. Guidance. What do we mean by guidance? So the most important designation and role of an Imam is to guide. That is the most important thing that an Imam does. He guides. The very purpose of creating human beings is to guide them, is so that they become guided, to find the right path and then to travel along this correct path. We have not been created to remain just here in this world and just busy with our lives and just accumulating wealth and just living nicely and just having better facilities around us and just living luxuriously and doing all the hobbies that we have and everything that we do. No, that all is a side project. That all should be there if it helps with the main objective of creation, which is to become guided. Now, when we say become guided, what do we mean by become guided? Where are we going? Where do we want to go? when we say Imams guide us, the Prophet guides us, Allah guides us, where are they guiding us to? Quran says, Ya ayyuhal insan, O man, innaka kadihun ila rabbik. You are laboring towards your Lord, adhan, laboriously. It's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult journey. It is a lot of mushkilat, difficulties, issues, calamities can come, difficulties can arise. Famulaki, but you will encounter him. Ya ayyuhal insan, innaka kadihun ila rabbik, adhan famulaki. O man, you are laboring towards your Lord laboriously and you will encounter him. This is 84:6. So this path is not easy. This is one thing we have to bear in mind. This path of meeting Allah, reaching Allah is not easy. Quran says you are laboring laboriously. So insan has to struggle. It's not easy. It's not clear. It's not so, easy to recognize and to figure out ourselves. It is in the very nature of our journey to go through trials and tribulations and difficulties and struggles. But insan has to move and travel in order to meet his Lord. We cannot remain stagnant. We cannot just just think that, okay, we've done it now and that's it. No, we always have to be moving and doing things and progressing and these kinds of things. We have to struggle in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Famulaki. But you will eventually meet your Lord after all these struggles and everything. If you do everything properly, the way he's told you, the way the Imams have told you, you go through all these struggles, you will meet him eventually. Hence, we, the mu'mineen, in the best of all the worships, which is namaz, in the best of all the worships, we say repeatedly, day and night, throughout the day, Allah tells us you must keep asking the same dua again and again and again and again. In your wajib namazes, in your mustahab namazes, even if you don't pray any mustahab namazes, at least you are saying 10 times minimum a day, Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Guide us, guide us, guide us, guide us on the straight path. It's not easy. It needs a lot of help from Allah, a lot of help from Imams to get us onto this path. So when we say Assalamu ala Aimmatul Huda, we are saying salams upon you. We salute you. We send our salams to you. You are the Imams of guidance. So in our namaz, we repeat this so many times, and we know that namaz is so important. Without namaz, religion will fall. It cannot survive. As-salatu amududdin. It is the pillar of religion. If you knock down the pillar of a building, the building falls. This is the most important and best form of worship, and we repeatedly ask for guidance in it. So what is the goal of being created, of going through this religion, of sticking to religion, of doing all the things that we are supposed to do? As I said, our goal is to reach Allah, meet with Allah. To reach Allah and meet with Allah is not possible without reaching the Imam first. So not only are they ones who show us the way, actually they are the way. They are the way themselves. There is no other way apart from the way of the Imams. The Imam is Wajhullah, the face of Allah. Have you ever thought why one of the titles of the Aimmah alayhim assalam is Wajhullah? Wajh is face. Whenever you meet someone, how do you recognize them? You recognize them through the face. The first point of contact when you meet someone is the face. You remember someone how? By their face. So how can Allah be known? How can he be recognized? By his wajh, by his face. The Imams are the face of Allah. Imams are babullah. They are the doorway to Allah. How do you enter a building? How do you enter anything? You go through the doorway. Imams are the bab of Allah. Meaning that you cannot hope to enter the meeting with your Lord without going through the door, which is the Imam alayhi salam wa alayhim assalam. So one question comes here. So a lot of this, before I go into the question, a lot of this, I want to really make this point very clear. I'm assuming we are all mature individuals and we're not going to take things out of context. And I will try my best to explain things as much as possible. Think about the spirit of what we are saying and don't jump to conclusions until you've heard the whole thing. So the question is this. So is reaching Allah our goal, or is reaching Imam the goal? Are they one and the same? If we say I've reached Imam, does that mean I've reached Allah? If I've reached Allah, then does that mean I've reached Imam or not? So this is the question we're going to finish with. The answer is yes and no. Yes and no. If you misunderstand this, or if you understand it, will depend on yes and no. Of course, they are not Allah. Imams are not Allah. Rasulullah is not Allah. Janab Fatimah is not Allah. Anyone who says so or believes so is completely wrong, and we will never agree to that. They are not Allah. Allah is the original, the one without a beginning, one without an end. He was never created. He created everything else. He has all the power. He gives his power to others. His power is part of his essence. The power that he gives to others is not part of their essence, etc., etc., etc. So they are not Allah. But yes, without them, reaching Allah is not possible. You may say, yes, but some people pray, they have reached Allah. No, we don't agree with that. We don't say just because you fast and pray and you don't believe in the Imam of the time that you have reached Allah. We don't believe that. Maybe they have something in their minds which they call Allah, but it is not the proper meeting with Allah and the proper recognition of Allah. So what we will say is no, they are not Allah, but yes, without them reaching Allah is not possible. To put it into slightly technical terms, they are on the vertical axis to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not the horizontal axis. So when we look at the Imams are on the same vertical axis. To reach the Imam, you will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're not horizontal, meaning that if you reach Imam, you won't then reach Allah because you've gone the wrong way. We say they are leading us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you reach them properly, you will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it's done properly, if you recognize them properly, if you adhere to them properly, if you listen to them properly, if you understand them properly. You may say, yes, but we know of people who worship Imam Ali alayhi salam and they never reached Allah. The answer is they worship Imam Ali alayhi salam because they haven't recognized Imam Ali alayhi salam properly. Had they recognized him properly, they would never have worshipped him. They would have reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people say, for example, these people who do azadari, then they don't pray. They're not azadars. These things have to be done properly. Someone who prays namaz and then sins, when the Quran says namaz will protect you from sin and indecency, well, obviously there's an issue with his namaz. So if you reach Imam properly, understand him properly, listen to him properly, then you will definitely reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is impossible not to reach Allah once you reach the Imam properly. So if done properly, yes, you can say that they are the same thing. To reach Imam means you will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't reach Imam, you won't reach Allah properly. And if you reach Imam improperly, then you will not reach Allah properly. To reach Allah, you must reach the Imam properly. This is why it's so important to have ma'rifat of Imam. I know we talk a lot about ma'rifat of Allah, which is of course absolutely fundamental and important. We don't talk about ma'rifat of Imam enough. This is what these sessions are all about, to gain that awareness and appreciation of Imams. Because there is no hope of reaching Allah without reaching the Imam. What does recognizing the Imam properly mean? We had lots of people around the Holy Prophet, lots of people around Amirul Mu'mineen. People around the Prophet and people around Amirul Mu'mineen were some of the most evil in history. But I bet you they knew more about the personal things of Amirul Mu'mineen and Prophet more than us. They knew where they lived, how they lived, what clothes they wore. how they walked, how they talked, they heard them, they saw them with their eyes. They knew all of these things, but they did not reach them properly. They did not know them properly. And because they did not know them properly, they never reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly. Can we say Umar really knew the Prophet properly in his haqiqat, in his the way he should be known? Abu Bakr knew the Holy Prophet properly. Muawiyah knew Amir al-Mu'mineen properly, although they had met and they had exchanged so many communications. Did he know him properly? Of course not. Salman, Abu Zar, Miqdad, Rushayd, Kumail, these people knew them properly. So once you reach the Imam properly, you will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no doubt about it. If you reach him improperly, then there's a different matter. So serving the Imam is serving Allah. Reaching the Imam properly is reaching Allah. Because what is the Imam? Imam is nothing more than the manifestation of Allah's qualities. When you want to see the qualities of Allah in His creation, look at any of the Imams. You will see Allah's qualities. I'll finish with this. This is one of the lines that has reached us in, this is from Bihar. It is also in Mafati. And it is one of the lines from one of the Izne Dukhuls that has been recorded. So when you go to visit an Imam, you recite this. Walhamdulillahi alladhi, praise is for Allah, the one, manna alayna bihukamin, who kindly, with his kindness, gave us leaders, yakumuna maqamahu, who stand in his place. Law kana hadiran fil makan. If ever you could envisage a place, a space for God, you stand in his place. In other words, on this earth, Allah doesn't have a physical place. But the Imams and the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam, Aimmah alayhimussalam, they stand in the position of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They manifest Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the faces of Allah, the doors of Allah. Everything to reach Allah, you will find in the Aimmah alayhimussalam. I'm going to stop here, but this is going to get more and more in depth and more interesting. We're going to discuss quite a bit in the forthcoming sessions on this one line. Ghazia Abadi has more points that I want to bring, and also Ayatul Jawadi has many more points I want to bring, but I think for today's session that's enough. And we will finish here. Let's see if there's any questions. Aimmah are 12. Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, no matter how much we love and respect and adore him, and we have such a high level of respect for him and Bibi Zaynab, Bibi Masuma, and all these other personalities, but they are not included in the 12 Imams. They have a very high status, but the Imams have even a higher status. So we can take a lot of inspiration from them, information from them. Why? Because they have been rubber stamped by Imams. Because Bibi Zaynab, for example, she is rubber stamped and she's approved by Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. So we can take, because Imam Sajjad alayhi salam has approved Hazrat Abbas, because the other Imams have approved, but they're not Imams. They're not in this 14 category of the 14 infallibles. Okay? So there's a subtle difference, slight difference, but very important. So absolutely, Hazrat Abbas can help us reach Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for example. But he's not Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the Imam. Aimmah alayhi salam are a separate, unique, distinct category. Hazrat Abbas, brilliant personality, amazing, but slightly different in the way we treat them. Right now, if Imam Hussein alayhi salam stands up and says something, without even a second of doubt or a fraction of any kind of issue, we will obey. If Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam stands up and says something, for example, he gives a ruling on Islam, or says, Allah says this, we will have to look to Imam Hussein alayhi salam to say, can you confirm that? Yeah. So there are different levels of authority and different levels of what they do. So Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam was Hazrat Abbas because he had gone onto the path of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Imam Hussain alayhi salam is not on anyone's path. He is on Allah's path. Yeah. So Aimmah and the Ashab and the other family members of Ahlul Bayt, this is how we differentiate. So let me look at the chat now and see what is there. Is it only the ma'rifat of the Imams that will give us ma'rifat of Allah? Yeah. So again, here we will say ma'rifat of the Imams, 12, plus Janab Fatimah, plus Rasulullah. These are the 14. Anbiya as well can be put in the same category, that obviously we need the Anbiya as well to believe in the Anbiya as well. But the 14 infallibles are a different category. Above all Anbiya, except for the last prophet of Islam. Above all Anbiya. Anbiya are indebted to the Imams. This we will cover in future, inshallah, if it comes up. Anbiya are indebted to the Imams. Anbiya are indebted to Janab Fatima. Anbiya are indebted to Amirul Mu'mineen. Imams themselves are indebted to to Janab Fatima. Imams themselves, although they are one category, but then they all say that Amirul Mu'mineen was better than all of us. You see, so we know these are details, but the main point I want you to grasp is ma'rifat of Allah will come from ma'rifat of Imam and treading the path of Imam and the correct sirat-e-mustaqim that Imam shows us. This is the main thing of today's discussion. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. In the Quran, the verse says, ud'ooni ud'ooni astajiblakum. How can you connect this easily with wasilah? With wasilah. Okay. So today we haven't really mentioned wasilah, but this is all wasilah. Wasilah means, the way, the path or the way or the avenue to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a wasilah. Imams are our wasilah. So if Allah says, ud'ooni astajiblakum, that's fine. Call on me and I will answer you. Yeah, we don't have a problem with that. We can call on him directly. We can call on him through the Imams. We can call on him with wasilah. We can call on him through every way. Even if I say, oh Allah, with the haqq of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, answer my prayer, that is still ud'ooni astajiblakum. I'm still addressing Allah. Even if I say to Imam Hussain alayhi salam that Allah has given you power, please grant me this, I'm still doing ud'ooni astajiblakum because I'm recognizing that it is Allah or ultimately who is giving and not Imam Hussain independently. Can we say the same about Lady Fatima in relation to the Imams? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Although her role was different, slightly different. She didn't have that same role as the Imams. This is another long discussion about the difference in roles. But yes, she's included in that 14. Ma'rifat of Janab Fatima will lead to the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sherman Ubai, how can we prove from Holy Qur'an that the dead can be our wasilah? Yeah. Many verses. I think you will have to look at the previous sessions. We have covered some of this before. So to cover all that now will take a long time and it's not fair on everybody, but there are many, many verses. We never believe that when someone dies from this world that they are finished. No. فَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ. That is one of the most obvious. That do not consider those slain in the way of Allah as dead. They are living near their Lord. All of our burial rituals point to the fact that people are still alive, although not breathing in this world. But breathing in this world is not life. Life continues. So we don't have a concept that once you leave this world, then you're finished, dead completely. You have no more power. No, we don't have that concept at all. But please listen to the previous sessions for a full explanation. Thank you. Fi amanillah. Khuda Hafiz.